a book now.
He's trying to get home. I'm good. I'm straight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I wrote the book at that period because it was a period of preparation. Where a period of preparation, contemplation, and a period of reflection. A lot of other people was like, hey man, I'm tired.
Courage under fire, never stop, never give up. I don't care what you face, if you fall, make sure you get up. I'ma shoot for the moon, acquire what I desire, go even after I'm tired, cause I know that you gotta have courage under fire, never stop, never give up. I don't care what you face, if you fall, make sure you get up. I'ma shoot for the moon, acquire what I desire, go even after I'm tired, cause I know nobody can stop me. I move at high speeds, nigga, with old friends. All the time in the world could make me release my pen. Heart of a lion, my hustle's meat is the old Tyson. World's cold, but I feel the fire. People rising, made it from ground zero. I done ran out of ground, which means that I'm on the edge, but still I won't frown. I was born with ambition. I don't need you to push me. I went without it for years, so bitch, you can keep your pussy. I don't fancy the game. If you can't help me, then beat it. Cause pussy won't kill my hunger, no matter how much I eat it. They gon' hate when I win, so they hope that I fail. Wanna stop me at rap or keep me broken in jail. I die before I stop advancing. Look, my spirit tell it. Addiction hit us all. Some smoking and some selling. Hard to be patriotic. I know the government's shady. Holla fucking with courage and hope for the best in Haiti. With courage under fire, never stop, never give up. I don't care what you face, if you fall, make sure you get up. I'ma shoot for the moon, acquire what I desire, go even after I'm tired, cause I know that you gotta have courage under fire, never stop, never give up. I don't care what you face, if you fall, make sure you get up. I'ma shoot for the moon, acquire what I desire, go even after I'm tired, cause I know that I've been exhausted, but exalted, held back, insulted, learned at the shooting cases. I was sick when I caught it, learned the game by osmosis. Mama couldn't even reach me. Hustler's ideology. The acquisition of paper and the retention of it. All of it. My return. Hustler's ideology. Push this shit up out of me. If you talking riches, then I'ma say it gotta be a hustler's ideology. It's to be or not to be. I'm probably a prodigy. I grind till they body me. They tell me I never be. I know I'll forever be. Up against the wind, daily faced with this adversity. Mama told me calm down. Pops told me do you. My pockets told me nigga hit the block like you used to. Post up in the crack house. Make sure it's the back route. They catch me in this bitch. My PO ain't let me back out.
About, your book signing. What's the name of it? First and foremost.
Courage Under Fire.
Okay.
The book is a semi-autobiographical self-help book where it's pretty much what I went through, what I learned, and how I apply what I learned.
Okay.
Which for me is the most important part. Because you can have the information, but if you misapply it, it's pointless to have.
No doubt. What was it like for you when you was in that fire?
Oh man, like I was young for one.
How old?
I was 15.
Okay.
Of course, the case I was 15. So I was given 25 years at 15. I was waiting for the adult system, obviously, right?
No doubt.
And they split my sentence, what they call a bifurcation. They bifurcated my sentence and they gave me 5 years for the shooting in the all right.
Yeah.
They gave me 5 years for the shooting, 20 for the all right. But it was 20 years probation and stayed.
Did you understand all of that at that time?
Not at all.
Okay.
Definitely didn't. It wasn't until about 2011, I want to say, where I kind of grasped some type of mental understanding of the 20 years. Because I did the 5. So I got revoked in 04 on the 20.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was a stay sentence.
Okay.
Until about 2011, I was trying to get back in court. And they had stamped something on my file that said PMR. I didn't know what the hell that meant. So So, I said, what is PMR? Presumptive MR, mandatory released. Which meant that you had to have a new factor to go back in court.
Absolutely.
For a modification of your sentence. I had no new factors. One of the the major new factors was the judge would have had to say, he doesn't intend for you to do all of this time. I knew that the judge didn't say that.
What gave you the strength and the courage, though, through all of that, and keep your sanity, keep your right mind?
To get through it?
Yes, sir.
I think believing I had a greater purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like in all honesty, like going through it is one thing. Like I watched other people endure what I endured.
Yeah.
And didn't make it. Meaning that they wound up in the Medline and being heavily reliant upon the medication that was being provided by the DOC. So I said to myself, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be. I want to still be me. So no matter how difficult it becomes, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how many nights I can't sleep, I want to deal with that. I don't want to be sedated. I don't want to be the person who doesn't recall what I went through. Let me be the person who's going through this and I feel every single emotion, every single pain, every single struggle. Because that is going to prevent me from doing something that's going to lead me back.
You go through that fire.
Right.
You feel me? You go through it. You know, I love that word "through." That's a powerful word.
Definitely.
That just means that's temporary. You're not staying
right,
there.
for sure.
So now you get back out. How old are you?
First of all, I can say this. Doing that 12, almost 13 years, I was waiting to hear you going home this day. But when he said, you go home on this day, I didn't really believe it was for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, I was like, damn, he telling me that. And it's like, thinking about it now, because I don't get that question too often. Thinking about it now, like it's almost it conjures emotion because it's like, damn, y'all been telling me no for so many years. 12, 24, 12. For so many years.
So when you say 12 or 24, for the people who don't understand,
right?
This, what are you referring to?
So when you go to parole board, well, in Wisconsin, it's like this. When I had 20 years, so 25% of your sentence, you eligible for parole. So I did 5 years, which was from 2004 to 2009. And I went to see them for the first time, and they told me a 24-month difference, which meant that I would see them again in 2 years.
That's right.
So it's like it causes a sense of hopelessness because it's like, hey, you're telling me if I do this, do that, take this program, take that program, then you would do something for me.
Right.
So I'm doing everything for you, which ultimately is ultimately for me.
Right.
So when I come before you guys, you're not giving me what I want.
Right.
So it's the 24-month defer. I go back in 2 years. They give me it. And a 12-month defer. I go back in a year. 12-month defer. I go back another year. Another 12 months. So it's like, why would I even keep coming back to see him? I stopped going to see him after a while. Because I said to myself, I'm working on me anyway. Right. I'm going to be released mentally. Y'all got me physically.
Right.
And this is the only way you're going to have. You know, when the parole commissioner finally said, your release date is May 3rd, which was about 26 days after that day. It went from being a potential remaining 5 years or 6 years to being a month, pretty much 3 weeks. So I was like, damn, like everything, every sleepless night, every heartbreak, every time somebody lied to me, every time they took my clothes because I had too many of them, every time they took my socks because I had too many of them, every time they took some books that was on the denial list, all that was worth it. Like I had 20 years, but in the middle of it, I always say this: the side of the mountain will teach you more than the top of it ever will.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So in the middle of it, I was on the side of the mountain. I was climbing to the top, And when he told me 26 days, I said, damn, I'm close to the top. You know what I'm saying? And then it became a thing where I assumed the responsibility of being a representative of the people who was going to still be there after I left. You know what I'm saying? So I had to do certain things and conduct myself in a certain manner that said, hey, listen, the guys that's still there deserve a chance too. Because I'm just like them.
Real talk.
It's no different than when Frederick Douglass enslaved slavery and he went to D.C. And he spoke as eloquently as he could have about slavery. They didn't believe he was a slave because they had this preconceived notion of what a slave was.
That's right.
It's like, hey, you can't be articulate, you can't be sharp, you can't be
all of the above.
You're all of these things. And you were a slave. So for me, it was that. You can't be civilized, you can't be educated, you can't be informed, you can't be all of these different positive things, and you were just a convict.
Yeah, right. So a lot of people who will never be in prison that's incarcerated
in prison.
Currently.
Yeah, definitely.
You feel me? Yeah. So in saying that, you out now, right? And you said you talked about setting an example.
Yeah.
You also talked about climbing a mountain.
Yeah.
And now you have some new mountains in your life, right? Right. You have a career that you know. So let me ask you, what's going on with that?
My personal challenge was finding my place, not only physically, but morally, mentally, in terms of my values and my principles, my place in society. You know what I'm saying? So, and I found it, and I said to myself, my job is to show other people that they have a place as well. The people that I left, you know what I'm saying? Who spent their formative years in that place. So we know in confinement, in incarceration, in segregation, et cetera, et cetera. We belong. As a matter of fact, we belong probably more than the people who didn't take advantage of their opportunities.
That's right.
And that's what it was for me. So now I come home and I got this agenda, and it's the music, it's the books, it's the speaking, and it's other people who like, man, help me.
Yeah.
You was never in prison like I was in prison. Physically though. You were in prison mentally. So now it's on me to unlock the gates and unlock these doors and show you that how you imprisoned yourself, you can emancipate yourself as well. So pretty much it, man.
No, I love that in you, man. So final thoughts before we get off of here.
Right. My
question to you is, you know, when can we expect another book?
I'm gonna say next year.
Okay.
22. Because I wrote this particular book last year during the pandemic. The pandemic wasn't a thing for me. I was like, hey, they talking about you can't go outside. I'm at home. I'm already outside.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, I'm just in a more luxurious cell with all the amenities. I did 17. From 15, I had 25 years, waiting to the adult system in 1987 at 15 years old. Did 17 years in total.
Me, I did 10 straight, 2006, 2016. I got jammed in October 16, 2006. You know, I made it out October 11, 2016. You know what I'm saying? I'm out, I ain't going back to that motherfucker.
Sentenced to life in 1995, did 20 years, got my case back in court. In 2015, came home, 6 years later, I'm here.
That's right.
Sir, I'm here.
And I forgot to say, I did 10 years before that, from 90 to 99, got out, was only out 2 years, and did 15 straight more.
Interesting fact. For both me and Brad Fax. We did more time in the joint than we did in the world.
Yeah. And that's amazing. Real, what does that tell you? You have no time to waste.
No whatsoever.
And it's not a brag.
Yeah,
It's not a brag.
Absolutely.
We lost in 40 years.
Rudy was there when both my parents died. Both mothers. Adopted mother and real mother.
Not a brag.
Todd.
We survived it, you know.
And I got all my music out there.
I'm free. I did 25 years. I went in when I was 15.
Aaron, My number is 197122. So mine started all the way from 89.
Yeah.
2017 was the first time in my life I never was on any supervision. And I did over 15 years. And currently, I'm no longer on any supervision. However, just so you know, and you can capture this, I'm still currently on the bracelet, and I've been on the bracelet since 2010.
Damn.
And I gotta pay $240 a month for the rest of my life.
So,
Dang. I actually did 2 incarcerations, one for 4 years, 8 months, and the next one was 4 years, 9 months for a misdemeanor revocation. So yeah, so I've been out for over 10 years also.
what he just spoke on is called that revolving door. I got several friends that had 10-year bits. They did 25 on a 10-year bit. Get almost to the door, get revocated, start all over again, almost to the door, got revocated for half, did 25 years on 10. But man,
Wisconsin is one of 3 states that do that. Wisconsin is one of 3 states that do that. And they sit back and give you this extensive amount of probation. How you gonna sit back and give somebody 10, 15 years on probation and expect them not to sit back and do nothing?
Because it's the hustle.
80% of the people that's in prison is there for probation violations,
And one of the things you missed, you didn't get to hear Brad say that he received a stayed sentence. Hey, it was so tricky that people was thinking they was going home free, but they knew you'd mess up again, so they give you these big 15 and 10-year stays after you do a year in the county jail or house of correction, knowing you was gonna mess up, not knowing that you just signed saying if you do anything wrong, you're gonna do the rest of that time.
And the question is why?
That's their hustle.
Yeah.
They rather keep their cheeks in that chair to go milk that cow in the morning. That's why. That's their hustle.
That's right.
My case was the same thing. I had 3 months left from a state sentence. I had 3 months left. I got revocated. My PO, the DA wanted a year. My PO was saying, let me go ahead and do the time out. I go to court and the judge maxed me out 4 years, 9 months. For misdemeanor revocation.
Hey, listen, we made it. That's all I gotta say.
Bad thing we made.
I'ma shoot for the moon, acquire what I desire, go even after I'm tired, cause I know that you gotta have courage under fire. Never stop, never give up. I don't care what you face, if you fall, make sure you get up. I'ma shoot for the moon, acquire what I desire, go even after I'm tired, cause I know that I've been exhausted, but exalted, held back, insulted, learned at the shooting cases. I was sick when I caught it, learned the game by osmosis. Mama couldn't even reach me.